Hello, race fans! Thank you for joining me again on this fantastic Sabbath. This is a special edition. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And yeah, so we have a couple guys out on grid. We're wrapping up qualifying at the moment in the GT3s. This is round 7, our final night here on Sunday of Le Mans. I'm sure everyone's pretty sick of it after the endurance competition this week. And running it a whole bunch, but yeah, we got a couple guys. We got about 5 minutes left on qualifying here. We're doing a over 2-hour open qualifying session. See if we can't pull those up for you. I'm not sure that's Mark Bray, but we'll figure out the software in just a moment here. We got a mere 8 runners at the moment, unfortunately, but not surprising, considering I'm sure some of these guys are spending some time with their kids this evening. And if you're lucky enough to have been given the chance to steal away for a race on Father's Day, it's a great gift too. Currently we're riding on with Corey Mitchell, although it says Mark Bray at the bottom of your screen there. Let's try going to someone else. Carlos Lopez still got his picture, looking good. He's sitting in 5th place at the moment. There's our times. I was expecting us to get a little bit closer to that 4-minute mark with these GT3s. I'm kind of surprised that the laps are as slow as they are. Sure, that's just as fast as you can go today with the nature of the track in these cars. See what everybody's running out there. It's a sea of AMGs, and then you got those 2 McLarens tucked in there. Vincent Woods in 2nd and Stephen Liston in 4th position at the moment, as Carlos Lopez just takes that away from him right at the depth and squeezes himself onto row 2. Here's Corey Mitchell coming down towards the Porsche curves. As we see Corey come in to practice a pit stop, I guess. Although there is no required pit stop this evening, I'm fairly certain of this. Mark Bray out on track coming in for his pit entry as well. He's currently running 8th fastest. Take a quick look at the track temp there. We're up to 94 degrees in these things. We have a 40-minute race coming up, and they are a little strict on the incident limit today. As always with the GT3s of 10x, and you get a disqualification. Damage is off as a result of that, so I guess you can hit yourself around. Just don't hit each other. And open setups as always. All right, we are officially done and out of qualifying time now. And I see Kent Kruger is in 6th place. Just trying to remember who is leading this division. I think Bjorn Benches and Kent Kruger and Carlos Lopez Jr. I believe is also up there. Oh, and Vincent Wood is in 2nd position overall in the point standings, and he's next to Ali on that front row. So now we're in that awkward between phase where our voices crack and we wait for the racing to begin. All right, it looks like we're about to take over and get this race underway. We got 40 minutes with, let's say, a limited grid this evening, as it probably would be on Father's Day. All right, well, we are taking an inordinate amount of time to get this race going today. Sorry, folks, I'm trying to figure out what's going on my side, make sure everything's cool. But I think Le Mans is just like this sometimes.
here's my Chinese.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted to play. I'm trying to find these race memes, but no race memes to be had on my computer. Just old videos. Whoa. All right, iRacing at Le Mans. Let's get this party going. It is 6:07, and we have a racing grid at least up, and I hear a car, or no, those are the Jets to start us off today. On the front row, we got Ali Salih and Vincent Wood, followed up by Corey Mitchell, squeaks into third position just ahead of Carlos Lopez, who shifts Steven Liston down to 5th place. He's on row 3 with Kent Kruger. Brad Hill and Mark Bray make up the 4th. Bjorn Benches, Ty Johnson, and John Stapp are the last drivers, but they were not able to set a time. I don't know if they'll be joining us. It looks like Bjorn is already out on track. So let's go check him out. Are we going to do a standing start this evening? I can't imagine us doing an entire lap of pace lap. And it most certainly appears so. Yeah, because they are not lining up side by side. They are lining up staggered grid, and does not seem to be a pace car in front of Vincent Wood there. This will be a very interesting start. We've not done this yet on Apex. As we await our race leader, Ali Salih, who does not make it. So Vincent Wood right here is now your race or your pole sitter this evening, and he's off the line. He's followed by Corey Mitchell, who gets a great jump on him. And here comes Carlos Lopez down the line as well. It all mixes up, and it looks like Carlos might even get into this. Nope, he doesn't make it in time. As Corey Mitchell takes the lead, followed by Vincent Wood and Carlos Lopez Jr. Kent Kruger gives him a little tap, get out of the way. Brad Hill is struggling and cutting some guys off as Kent Kruger gives Carlos another little tap there. He moves himself up into 3rd position as your leaders have run away a little bit, but the pack is, the battle's really back here. Oh, as Kent Kruger goes sliding off. Oh, excuse me, everybody. Let's get some of those track details up there for you. Got a little, caught a little flat-footed. Steven Liston has Bjorn Benches right behind him, and that's Brad Hill and the AMG just ahead of him. You could hear the buzz of Vincent Wood and Corey Mitchell. 3.5 seconds up the road already from 3rd place and the rest of the pack. Oh no, have we lost Bjorn? Oh no, he's still out on track. Steven in front of him gets a little bit out of shape there. Brad Hill has a great start, moves up 4 places. Bjorn benches as well right from the back. Gets himself up there, and Steven just sort of staying where he is. This is a very difficult Mulsanne corner to come into there. And Bjorn is right all over him. He wants to get on the gas because now Carlos Lopez is right behind him, giving him a couple taps for good luck. As Corey Mitchell has pulled out over a second and a half ahead of Vincent Wood, who's now 4.5 ahead of Brad Hill at the top of this pack. As Carlos Lopez looking to make a move on Bjorn here. Bjorn sort of gives him a little shove to the outside, but he's got the move done now. Oh, and Carlos Lopez goes in and he makes it a twofer, I think. Oh, he gets just ahead of Brad Hill. Almost takes his bumper off. And Corey Mitchell also gets by Brad Hill. I wonder if he had a slowdown or something. He really is losing positions there. Well, that's right about where he qualified too, though, so maybe he just was doing it as best as he could for as long as he could. Carlos Lopez is now just half a second behind Steven Liston, who's moved himself up in the 3rd position now. Oh, excuse me, folks. And then Mark Bray makes up the last of the grid. Oh, sorry, Ken Kruger has fallen back just a touch further as he tries to make up the time that he lost. And these guys are definitely going to lose some time battling each other, and definitely if they're racing this closely from the beginning, it's, oh, Carlos. Oh, he's now got Bjorn for company. If they're racing this closely, it could easily lead to some unfortunate incidents, some unnecessary incidents like that. But it looks like that that was soft enough to not have any issues, as Carlos Lopez goes up and Steven Liston had to bleed off some time. I'm not exactly sure what happened back there. So now we have Carlos Lopez up there. I don't see, oh, there's Bjorn. He's still in 4th position, maybe having a couple connection issues this evening. As we have completed our first lap there. We're 5 minutes in already. The laps here are so long, they just provide for so much action. It's all the different corners, as you can see down in the distance. Corey Mitchell, Bjorn is right on Carlos's bumper here, got it under 2/10. Smart and just stays with him. It's debatably a better exit from that chicane, so we'll see if he can't make something happen here. It's really not pushing him. He feels bad about that little tap. Oh, he gave him coming out of the out of the Ford chicanes at the end there. He loses a bunch of time on Carlos coming out of that 2nd chicane. Here's Brad Hill just behind him. Just a little bit behind those guys. Steven Liston and this McLaren. Seven and a half seconds is Mark Bray back there. And then, oh, unfortunately, Kent has a 16-second gap to Mark in front of him. That's unfortunate. He's pretty high up there in the standings as Bjorn is now right back in the clutches of Brad. There's your race leader taking off, followed by Vincent Wood. He's 3.5 seconds behind Bjorn, but always ready to take advantage if he has any sort of mistake. It's Carlos Lopez Jr. He's got a little bit of a gap now on Bjorn. He's 2 seconds up the road as Bjorn now has to deal with advancing Brad Hill, making his car as wide as possible on this very awkward straight as they come into the S's. Oh, and Bjorn is nowhere to be found. Is that just because he's got connection issues? Okay, there he is. I thought we just came around the corner and Bjorn was no more. He just didn't get it right and didn't stay on the track, but no, he is there. Phantom Bjorn. And something happened to Carlos back there. He's now lost over a second to Bjorn. I don't know what exactly happened to him. Nothing on the incident report to speak of. Carlos doing a good job to take a different line and get them out of his slipstream. He is only 0.7 up the road. Oh, as Carlos does not get a good exit from that. Riding along with Brad Hill here. As he doesn't quite utilize Bjorn's slipstream, he could really be pushing him just past Carlos if he tried. These guys are evenly spaced. That's just a couple of teens between them. Oh, and Bjorn tries to get him, but Carlos is forced into an awkward entrance as Bjorn is forced into an awkward exit. Perhaps wasn't his moment. Just needs to continue to put him under some pressure. But he's certainly got Brad Hill for company. He's not giving him that racing line as Brad has to bleed off some speed. He makes it all up on the braking zone, more or less. It's a pretty, almost a great exit out of there. That's a pretty long gap. Oh, he wants to get this blinking car out of the way, but he really isn't trying too hard. As they come down into Indy, both of them have a little issue under braking. Bjorn goes really wide. He does not get close on that camber at all. He still manages to hold on. Brad is not being very aggressive when he can down into Arnage, and Bjorn goes a little bit deep into it. Brad's got to make a move sometime here. He's really bleeding off his throttle though. He's just expecting Bjorn to make a mistake. I don't call him Bennett Bjorn for nothing. I think he actually doesn't hate these sponsors. I think he's just trying to bash it into the billboards to bring some camera attention to his paid sponsorships. Oh, God, I love these GT3s as they just throw them around the corner. And it's a limousine, so, you know, sometimes stick. It's a lot of butt to move around there. Brad has a nice early braking zone. Oh! Back up top, we're with Corey Mitchell. Let's turn down the sound a little bit, as these onboards can be a little bit overpowering. Let's see how Corey goes through the lap. Takes it nice and easy, actually, through Tetra Rouge. Sort of right. I'll tell you, that's actually not the best place to be, right in the middle. Maybe it is part of his strategy, but there is a big high spot right there in the middle that you sort of have to get over. And you can, scrape a little bit if you're not careful with the underbody of your car, especially when your aerodynamics are fully loaded. Same thing with this straight. Generally, that exit from the first chicane will leave you on the left side of the track, and then you have to make your way over to the right side. Corey's really loving that hump in the middle, though. Gives some funny feeling in the pants. He takes it nice and easy. Second gear. He's lost a little bit of time. He's only 2.5 ahead of Vincent Wood here. You can just see Corey up the road, staying with him. Whoa, and he gets a real early entrance into that first part of Indy. He really doesn't wait for that to come to him. He gets all of that green curbing on the left, which is good or acceptable because he's really slowed down and done a lot of his braking before that point in time. As Vincent Wood is still pushing to get behind him, though. Wow, as Corey does really well to keep that car all the way to the right around that little roundabout. It's a nice clean exit. Some of these guys have put in a lot of laps at this course recently. Does well, gets his car in that pit lane entrance a little bit, make the track as wide as possible, take a big healthy chunk of both on the second chicane there. As it looks like Steven Liston just had a bit of an accident back here. Hopefully it's a good one. We don't like, yeah, it's a good one. Nice. Oh no, is he stuck in the wall? Is he? Oh no. Oh no, oh. It was a bad one. Sorry, Steven. I didn't mean like that. Where is my NASCAR scrolling tower? Always need my NAS. So we see Brad Hill. Bjorn Benches is there. Yeah, I was about to say he just needs to get in the game. As we're almost halfway done with this race. Brad's actually been able to stay with Bjorn most of this time here. But he is starting to drop off slightly. Carlos Lopez, always in the fray. He's about 10 seconds off of second place Vincent Wood ahead of him. Only 3 seconds off of Bjorn, so an accident for him or the cars in front of him. It's always a possibility. He's just nervously sitting in that final podium position. He's doing his best lap last time of a 4:05.32. Corey is putting in 4:03, 4:04s. Vincent's doing 4:03s. Brad didn't have a great lap last lap and has fallen off Bjorn slightly as a result. Bjorn has no lap times because he keeps disconnecting every 5 seconds. A little bit further back, here's Kent Kruger, who's now caught up to Mark Bray after that big gap was there. He's got it down to 1.3 at the moment. Steven Liston back out on track after being stuck in the wall and needing, albeit probably the shortest tow there ever was at Le Mans. Oh, I'm sorry, the sound has been so low since we left those onboards. I apologize about that. Down to half a second now as these two approach these S's. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Indy for them, followed by Arnage. Let's see if he can get it done here. Some great corners. Oh, and he can't because Mark just goes off, spins it around Indy. You're just all the cars come charging into there so quickly. Be very focused on your rearview mirror. So you see Corey Mitchell coming to the pit lane. It looks like they are going to have some sort of fuel at the moment. Look at Corey and Vincent and Carlos and Bjorn. I imagine everyone's probably on the same pit strategy. So it's right just over halfway done with this race. So we're going to have one pit stop at the moment. Kent Kruger is coming around too. I imagine everyone's going to come in as one. Corey's back out after a 16.6. Vincent has a 16.7, is back out there. Carlos Lopez and Bjorn as they were. A little bit longer pit stops. Brad's been in there for 25 seconds now. He's getting tires as well. That's why. He's going to lose Bjorn because of that. I think he was expecting everybody else to take tires, but he may end up having Mark Bray and Kent Kruger as company. when he ends up leaving this this pit lane. Here's Brad Hill, and there's Kent Kruger just getting off ahead of him. Getting out, anyways. Excuse my French. There's Carlos Lopez back up in the third position. He's still only a second and a half ahead of Bjorn now. Kent Kruger has just a second over Brad as they exit the pit lane. Come through the Dunlop curve. Mark Bray is also decided to take tires. He's going to be there for probably 45 seconds as well. But Brad Hill wants that position back. It looks like Stephen Liston has passed Mark Bray in the pit lane. Stephen had to tow himself to the pits when he grabbed some fuel last time. Is this battle starting to come to a head here? With Brad Hill on the racing line, Kent on the inside. Brad's got it done. He's really boogieing down that straight. Starting to lose some time on Carlos ahead of him. He's now out of the slipstream range. Vincent knows he just has to stay ahead of Bjorn and Kent for this race, which he's doing. He's not going to track down Corey, so he's just going to take it easy in second. He's got a 10-second gap ahead of Carlos, so he can afford to lose any amount of time as these tires go away from him. Surprised we didn't see any little hiccups or really accidents coming out of well, I guess we saw Mark Bray have a little incident. Oh no, that was before the pit stops. Yeah, we didn't really see anybody having any problems because of the pit stop and the change in pressures and weight. Bjorn Bench is up there. He is again. Still yet to set a lap time here for us. steep chicane there for Carlos. He's pulling up on going benches anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He's got over 3 seconds on him now. Now 30 seconds back now is Brad Hill. He's followed by Kent Kruger, Stephen Liston, and Mark Bray. Really making that section look slow to me anyways. It's just a totally different way to attack it, but he makes such good time through that section. He uses all that track there. As he should. Mystery Bjorn, who I believe he started on the last row of the grid. He finds himself in 4th. And by the looks of the things at the moment, it appears to be this will be our second to last lap that Corey's about to start for us. So we'll have two more here at Le Mans to see if anybody's able to bin it spectacularly. Kid gets a little loose on the exit. I forget what it's called, something Rouge. Oh, we have Brad just ahead of Kent here. Have an issue. Oh, not really, just had a little off. He bled off the time, but it's still got 4.3 ahead of Kent. Sure, the guys are starting to feel it now. This is definitely, except for maybe Corey and some of the guys feeling comfortable, a little bit more comfortable out there on the track. It's definitely a different experience than the 24-hour endurance race, this sprint race on the same track that you've been doing. As you can see, at the moment we got Corey Mitchell in first, followed by Vincent Wood. Carlos Lopez Jr. is in the final podium spot. We got Bjorn Benches, Brad Hill, Ken Kruger, Steven Liston, and Mark Gray. Track here. It's not too shabby, doesn't lose that much speed, but sure was fun. He's still he's now maintaining 6.5 second gap ahead of Kent. So he just takes it nice and easy. Oh, Carlos a little loose there, man. She's the turn. If he does, we have final podium spot. We are up top. Corey's going to guide us across the finish line for the penultimate time. Here at Le Mans this week, round 7. Thank you very much for joining us here on Father's Day. I always love Le Mans, one of my favorite tracks. comes around the Mulsanne corner. And we run out of race time. Is still bleeding off time to Carlos. I don't think it's enough time for him to make up the gap, but I think he's just being conservative and easygoing on his last lap, leaving a few tenths out there as he's found himself with a little bit of a gap, so why not? He's a happy boy. He is your, he qualified in third position, I believe, maybe fourth. I think it was third, and finds himself in first place by the end of turn one. Kept in the whole race. There is your race winner, Corey Mitchell. Vincent Wood is going to cross the line for second this evening. Well done, Vincent. Carlos is taking third. Warren's going to come in fifth position. Let's run down that grid for you here as we have some of the last of the guys coming through. In fifth position we got Brad Hill. Moves himself up the grid. Kent Kruger, I believe, qualified in sixth, and he finds himself sixth at the end of the race. It's not going to do too much for his point standings. Vincent Wood will be so happy to see Bjorn Benches and Ken Kruger down there, as we have Steven Liston coming around in seventh. And to round us out this evening will finally be Mark Bray in eighth. There's your lone race winner. I don't know where Vincent went. He's still coming around. I think where he had picked a special spot for them to go to. Maybe, yep, and there is Carlos Lopez in the very back there, limping his way along to Corey's position as we see the race results pop up here. We got Corey Mitchell, followed by Vincent Wood. Carlos Lopez takes third. Bjorn Benches is in fourth. He's your points leader at the moment in the standings, and he's only good enough for fourth. And then we got Brad Hill in fifth. Kent Kruger stays in sixth position. And then we have Stephen Liston in seventh. We got Mark Bray in eighth, and Ali, Ty, and John did not grid with us today. Well, I do appreciate y'all joining us on the special Father's Day Sunday. I hope you all had a good time with us. Make sure you hit that thumbs down. Don't bother subscribing and hit the bell an even number of times. Thanks. I'll see you next time.